Malik, we've got company.
I know, but the bird took some damage. Gonna need to patch it up before I can go.
I'll stay and cover you.
Negative. You need to get away from here and find Dr. Savchenko. I'll be fine.
Don't be a sitting duck.
Maybe, maybe not. But this is your best chance to slip by them unnoticed, and you know it. So get out of here, Jensen.
Don't make me! I need some cover fire!
Jensen, the bird's fixed and I'm taking off. Now get on with the damned mission. And thanks, Spy Boy.
Faridah Malik is the chief pilot for Sarif Industries in Deus Ex Human Revolution and the Deus Ex Human Revolution comics. She is the protagonist of the novel Deus Ex Fallen Angel. Malik is a third-generation American. When she was young, she was a cowgirl and later a jockey. Once she broke a leg riding horses at her uncle's ranch. During her recuperation, she read extensively the works of Bertolt Brecht. For her 18th birthday, Malik's friends took her skydiving. After that, horses were not exciting enough for her, and she decided to be a commercial pilot. Malik considered the planes too cumbersome and chose helicopters instead. Malik flew V-22 Osprey cargo haulers for Arc Air, a Chinese Triad-affiliated aviation company. She enjoyed the company of her co-pilot and best friend Evelyn Carmichael. One day, the two were assigned to what turned out to be a smuggling operation supervised by Bell Tower Commander Nahari Khan. After picking up cargo from an offshore XNG shipping freighter, the Belcanto, they were hit by a storm. In the turmoil, Malik discovered that the cargo were stasis pods with live humans and witnessed Khan executing one of the victims, a kidnapped Isolate employee who refused to submit to his new employers. Parting with Evelyn, Malik fled only to be shot down by Bell Tower drones on Khan's orders. Somehow Malik survived, found a Sarif Industries business card in her wingsuit and arranged to leave her old life behind. As Sarif Industries' chief pilot, Faridah is able to fly anything from a helicopter to a VTOL, though she's only seen piloting the VTOL in-game. She is in charge of transport and delivery of Sarif Industries VIPs for any trips that require air transport. She is noted as a dedicated employee and pilot with sometimes overzealous flight tendencies that have proven her to be among the best in the skies. She has a few discreet cranial implants that enable her to be a better pilot. According to Sarif Industries Human Resources, it has been noted that a small altercation occurred between Faridah Malik and Franklin Phillips. The report notes only that Franklin was overseeing Faridah on maintenance for the company's VTOL. A verbal altercation erupted over the chopper's balance levels for VTOL lift when Faridah struck Franklin. No charges were filed against Faridah and she was issued a verbal warning from Human Resources. As Sarif Industries' chief pilot, Faridah flies Adam Jensen between places, provides him with intel through Jensen's infolink. During Jensen's first visit to Hengsha, Malik sees Jensen's help to prove the involvement of Li Hong in the murder of her friend Evelyn Carmichael. Upon later returning to Hengsha with Jensen, Malik is redirected to another landing zone and is then shot down by a Bell Tower operative with an EMP device fired from a rocket launcher. Malik attempts to repair her crashed VTOL as it is surrounded and under fire by a large contingent of Bell Tower troops. When Jensen defeats the Bell Tower troops to allow Malik to patch up the VTOL and take off, Malik says, "And thanks, Spy Boy," to which Jensen responds, "Anytime, fly girl." In 2029, a cereal box in Adam Jensen's apartment in Prague contains an apparent gift from Malik to Jensen. If Jensen tries to pour himself a bowl of the cereal, a toy VTOL falls out of the box, looking just like Malik's old craft. Jensen then inspects the box inside out and sees a note taped to the bottom that says, "Hope you like the prize inside, Spy Boy." So, in the mission appearances during Human Revolution, she appears in Back in the Saddle and then in Shanghai Justice, where Malik seeks Jensen's help to prove the involvement of Li Hong in the murder of Evelyn Carmichael. And then in Find Vasily Shevchenko's GPL device, Malik's VTOL is shot down and surrounded by 5 to 6 medium Bell Tower soldiers, 2 heavy soldiers and 2 snipers, and even an 80-X box guard. If Jensen manages to defeat the attackers, she will be able to repair the VTOL and escape safely, although Bell Tower will now be hunting him as well. Nevertheless, the player is rewarded with the Good Soul achievement. If Malik survives, she will later assist Jensen at the Singapore facility. Otherwise, Malik dies if the VTOL sustains too much damage, or if Jensen manages to reach the helipad elevator before the VTOL explodes. In the latter case, the Bell Tower soldiers will drag Malik out of the aircraft, and she'll be subsequently executed by Nahari Khan. If Malik is killed, her corpse can later be found in the Harvester's hideout on an operating table in the surgery, which can also be accessed from a cracked wall that can be broken down near the room where you meet Tong Si Hung. She is presumably sold by Bell Tower to the Harvesters, allowing them to extract her mechanical augmentations like they did with Vasily Shevchenko. Canonically, Malik survives the events of this mission, as indicated by Deus Ex Blacklight, which states that Jensen is interested in tracking down the whereabouts of Malik in early 2029, and the cereal box Easter egg in Jensen's apartment mentioned before. The last mission, rescuing Megan and her team, is obviously conditional depending on if she survives. If she does, she will assist Jensen at Singapore's Omega Ranch by rescuing the Sarif scientists there, as well as dealing with a number of insane Spec Ops troopers. A hallmark of Malik's personality is her loyalty and devotion to her friends. This is demonstrated in her quest Shanghai Justice, in which she is determined to find justice for her dead best friend Evelyn. It is also exhibited in Deus Ex Human Revolution throughout her enduring friendship with Jensen. She's arguably the person closest to Jensen throughout the game, as they embark on nearly all of Jensen's missions together with her as pilot. Malik's friendship with Jensen is such that she is willing to sacrifice herself following their plane crash in the return to Hengsha so that Jensen can escape the ambush. Malik also appears to enjoy a certain latitude with Jensen that others do not, as she feels comfortable teasing and challenging him. Malik is one of the few people that Jensen trusts completely. In the Human Revolution comics, Malik also functions as a confidant to Jensen regarding his feelings about his augmentations and his grief following the death of Katrina Sutherland. Malik also encourages Jensen, quoting the General, "Your tank is a powerful vehicle" passage from dramatist Bertolt Brecht's famous From a German War Primer, to remind him that he is not a machine and to remember to keep thinking in order to retain his humanity. Malik is one of only 3 known characters in Human Revolution who is unaffected by Jensen's CASIE augmentation, the others being Garvin Quinn and Michael Zelazny. Her personality type is Beta should the player attempt to use the augmentation on her at the Alice Garden pods. Doing so will produce some amusing results. Jensen will try to convince Malik, only for her response to be threatening toward Jensen, which in turn causes Jensen to drop the KC during their conversation. And we'll finish off with some notes and trivia here. She's also one of the few characters in the game who does not have an alternate line of dialogue if you speak to her with a weapon out. This is only possible after the completion of the Milwaukee Junction level. All other conversations will occur at Sarif HQ, where weapons cannot be drawn, occur in cutscenes, or occur remotely. An email on Faridah's computer suggests that she may be a rock climber in her spare time. That email, presumably from a climbing partner, refers to an offer to go to J-Tree and nail the fortress, natural selection, Baby. J-Tree is shorthand for Joshua Tree National Park, a climbing destination, and natural selection is the climbing route established on a crag there called the Fortress. Faridah means unique or precious, while Malik means owner or proprietor in Arabic. Therefore, it is probable that she is of Arabic descent, especially given that in real life her birthplace has one of the highest concentration of Arabs in the US. One of the directors in the commentary of the director's cut confirmed she is of Arab descent. Malik's first name was originally Farina, which was changed when the developers realized it was akin to the French word for flower. On her face, she seems to have a birthmark, which is actually a Monroe piercing. Faridah is described as being an observant Muslim, despite the fact that in the universe of Deus Ex, mechanical augmentations are not actually allowed in Islam. Faridah Malik was also the name of an actress who played only one role in her acting career as one of the victim girls in the 1975 film Salò or The 120 Days of Sodom, based on the book 120 Days of Sodom by the Marquis de Sade. And that's what we have on Faridah Malik. Pretty cool companion character for Human Revolution. Seems like a character that I, along with many others, would like to see more from. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments, and until then, we'll see you in the next video.
have a black market that is arguably bigger